Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Naresh Mago and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts development of Jammu and Kashmir top priority of NDA government. Says District Development Council elections in Union Territory show strength of India's democracy. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow at 11 a.m. Home Minister Amit Shah says Centre is committed to all-round development and lasting peace in Northeast region. India's cumulative COVID-19 recovery is highest in the world, says government. And in Melbourne cricket test, India was 36 for 1 at stumps in first innings in reply to Australia's 195 all-out on opening day. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today asserted that the development of Jammu and Kashmir is the top priority of the NDA government. The Prime Minister was speaking virtually after e-launching Ayushman Bharat PMJ Sehat scheme for all the residents of Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Modi said the Ayushman Bharat Sehat scheme will give free treatment of up to 5 lakh rupees to every beneficiary in Jammu and Kashmir.
आज जम्मू कश्मीर आयुष्मान भारत सेहत स्कीम शुरू की गई है। आप सोचिए, जब इस स्कीम के तहत राज्य के प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को 5 लाख रुपए तक का मुफ्त इलाज मिलेगा तो उनके जीवन में कितनी बड़ी सहूलियत आएगी। अभी तक आयुष्मान भारत योजना का लाभ राज्य के करीब 6 लाख परिवारों को मिल रहा था। अब सेहत योजना के बाद यही लाभ करीब 21 लाख परिवारों को मिलेगा। साथियों, बीते 2 सालों में 1.5 करोड़ से ज्यादा गरीबों ने आयुष्मान भारत योजना का लाभ उठाया है। इससे जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों को भी मुश्किल से समय में बहुत राहत मिली है। यहाँ के करीब 1 लाख गरीब मरीजों का अस्पताल में 5 लाख रुपए तक का मुफ्त इलाज किया गया है।
The Prime Minister said that the treatment under the scheme will not be limited to government and private hospitals in Jammu and Kashmir, but will also open up the avenue of getting treatment in any hospital connected under the scheme across the country. Addressing the gathering wearing the traditional Kashmiri attire, the Fairan, Mr. Modi termed the extension of the coverage of Ayushman Yojana to all the residents as historic and expressed happiness seeing Jammu and Kashmir take these steps for the development of its people. The Prime Minister enumerated several measures taken by the Centre for improving the life and health of the residents of Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Modi lauded the Jammu and Kashmir administration for conducting the local body elections in a transparent manner. The Prime Minister said the recently concluded elections of the District Development Council DDC in Jammu and Kashmir marked a new chapter and showed the strength of India's democracy. He said the people elected through these elections must ensure that good governance and democracy reach the grassroots level.
जम्मू कश्मीर के हर वोटर के चेहरे पर मुझे विकास के लिए एक उम्मीद नजर आई, उमंग नजर आई। जम्मू कश्मीर के हर वोटर की आंखों में मैंने अतीत को पीछे छोड़ते हुए बेहतर भविष्य का विश्वास भी देखा। इन चुनावों में जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों ने लोकतंत्र की जड़ों को और मजबूत करने का काम किया है।
Taking a sharp dig at the opposition, Mr. Modi said that those who preach about democracy should also make efforts to practice it. Citing the case of Puducherry, the Prime Minister said, despite a Supreme Court order, the local body election in the Union Territory is not being conducted by the incumbent ruling Congress party there.
पुडुचेरी में सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश के बावजूद पंचायत और म्युनिसिपल इलेक्शन नहीं हो रहे हैं और जो मुझे यहाँ रोज लोकतंत्र के पाठ पढ़ाते हैं ना, उनकी पार्टी वहां राज कर रही है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 2018 में ये आदेश दिया था, लेकिन वहां जो सरकार है जिसका लोकतंत्र पे जरती पर भरोसा नहीं है, इस मामले को लगातार टाल रही है।
Taking part in the function virtually, Union Home Minister Amit Shah said Prime Minister Modi wishes to see speedy development in Jammu and Kashmir and improvement in the standard of living of people. Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir Manoj Sinha also spoke on the occasion. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said the central government is committed to the all-round development and lasting peace in the Northeast region. He was speaking after laying the foundation stone of various development projects at Amingaon in Guwahati today. Mr. Shah said the NDA government, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has always kept the Northeast region in focus during its rule. He said that several separatist factions in the Northeast forced the youth to take up arms, and the central government has ensured that these factions join the mainstream.
एक जमाने में सारे राज्यों के अंदर सेपरेटिस्ट अपना एजेंडा चलाते थे, युवाओं के हाथ में बंदूक पकड़ाते थे. आज सारे हथियारी ग्रुप धीरे 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 मुख्य प्रवाह के अंदर शामिल हो गए हैं और आज युवा अपने नए स्टार्टअप के साथ विश्व भर के युवा के साथ स्पर्धा कर अपने अष्टलक्ष्मी को भारत की अष्टलक्ष्मी बनाने की दिशा में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं.
The Home Minister alleged that the earlier governments under Congress did not do anything to bring back the youth of the Northeast from the path of insurgency. Mr. Shah said that it was the Modi government that restored normalcy in the region. He recalled the India-Bangladesh land boundary agreement ending the blockade in Manipur and the recently concluded Bodoland Territorial Council elections as important steps taken to ensure peace and stability in the region. The Home Minister asserted that Assam has embarked on a journey of peace and development under Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal and Finance Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. Mr. Shah was speaking after taking part as a chief guest in the foundation laying ceremony for a medical college and 9 law colleges. The Home Minister also urged the farmers agitating against the new agricultural laws to resolve their issues through discussions.
कुछ लोग कृषि सुधारों के लिए बड़ा आंदोलन कर रहे हैं. मैं सभी को आज के मौके पर अपील करना चाहता हूं कि आप मेन स्ट्रीम के अंदर आइए, सरकार के साथ चर्चा करिए और सरकार के साथ चर्चा कर समस्या का समाधान ढूंढिए.
The senior BJP leader is taking part in the party's Assam core meeting in Guwahati. Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal, State Party President Ranjit Kumar Das, among others, are attending the meeting. Mr. Shah also met the leaders of alliance partners, including Ahom Gana Parishad, this evening. Former Congress Minister Ajanta Neog also met Mr. Shah.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah will be visiting Manipur tomorrow. The Manipur government has made strict security arrangements for the Home Minister's visit to the state. The farmer unions have proposed to hold another round of talks with the government on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Briefing reporters at Singhu Border Swaraj India President Yogendra Yadav said all farmer leaders and all farmer unions representatives who are protesting against farm laws have mutually decided to hold another round of talks with the centre. On Thursday, the central government had written to the protesting farmer unions and invited them for fresh talks. Joint Secretary in the Agriculture Ministry, Vivek Agarwal, had reiterated government's commitment to discuss and find solution to all the issues raised by the farmers.
Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has said that the amount spent on procurement at minimum support price MSP went up by 85% from 2014 to 2019 as compared to the period between 2009 and 2014. He said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has implemented the recommendations of the Swaminathan Committee to increase the MSP to 1.5 times the cost of production. Mr. Puri said that over 1,10,000 crore rupees have been transferred directly to the accounts of farmers through the PM Kisan Yojana and 87,000 crore rupees paid as crop insurance to farmers till date. The minister highlighted that leading agriculture economists have also recommended these 3 farm reforms, allowing our farmers to sell their produce in the open market. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said that the central government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is committed to transforming agriculture into efficient business. Addressing a farmers' rally in Dhenkanal in Odisha today, Mr. Pradhan said that the farmers across the country will stand to gain more under the new farm laws. Here is more from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
The Union Minister dismissed the fear and apprehension over the new farm laws as manufactured. He said these farm laws, while envisaging one nation, one market, also aim at making the farmers self-reliant. He made it clear that under the new farm laws, the farmers can have the option to sell their produce anywhere in the country, including in the APMC mandi. Citing an example to highlight the Union government's pro-farmer policies, Mr. Pradhan said that as against the procurement of 2.8 million metric tons of paddy at the rate of 1,310 rupees per quintal from Odisha during the Congress government in 2013-14, the Modi government has procured as much as 7.05 million metric tons of paddy from the state at the rate of 1,815 rupees per quintal last year. Girish Chandra Das, VIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The government has said that 55,49,000 paddy farmers have been benefited from current Kharif marketing season procurement operations with MSP value of over 84,928 crore rupees. The Agriculture Ministry said around 450 lakh tons of paddy have been procured from several states. It said the government continues to procure Kharif crops at its minimum support price from farmers as per its existing MSP schemes. In Karnataka, Janata Dal's secular president and former Prime Minister H.D. Devegowda has refuted media reports of his party's merger with the BJP. Addressing media persons in Bengaluru today, he stressed that JDS will remain a strong regional party with its secular credentials intact. Responding to the criticism meted out by the Congress leaders in the state against JDS, Mr. Devegowda said that the Congress that joined hands with Shiv Sena in Maharashtra must not question JDS for extending issue-based support to BJP in the state legislature. He charged that the Congress has failed in safeguarding the interests of minorities in the country. In an exclusive interview with AIR News, Union Minister for Road Transport, Highways and MSMEs, Nitin Gadkari has said that the government is fully committed towards development in the field of infrastructure. He informed that construction of 22 green express highways, which is in progress, will prove to be a game changer in the field of transportation and travelling.
We are making 22 green express highways, one of the important highways Delhi to Mumbai. Then half of the highways construction is already completed and we will complete within 2 years. Then it will be possible for us to go from Delhi to Mumbai only by 12 hours by car and 18 hours by truck. At the same time, we are making Delhi to Katra. That is, Delhi to Amritsar will be distance only we will go about 6 hours. And this is also going to connect Jammu Kashmir. And it is one of the important highway, Punjab, Haryana. It's giving a good support for industrial development.
Mr. Gadkari also spoke about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat and making India a number one global economy. He said the centre is taking every measure to boost the cottage, small, medium and micro enterprises in the country.
We are making the restructure of many MSMEs. 81 lakh MSMEs has already in 3 lakh crore of loan. 81 lakh industries are getting benefit. Already the 2 lakh crore has been sanctioned and 1,60,000 crore has been disbursement already is done.
Listeners can tune into FM Gold at 9:15 p.m. tonight to listen to the complete interview with the Union Minister for Road, Transport, Highways and MSMEs Nitin Gadkari in our program Spotlight.
The country has witnessed major reforms in almost every sector in the last 6.5 years of the NDA government. One such sector, which is the backbone of any economy, is the road transport and highways. The nation witnessed a never-seen-before kind of construction of vast stretches of roads and highways every day under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Union Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has turned the COVID crisis into an opportunity, and the nation successfully constructed over 6,200 kilometers of national highways till November this year, which is nearly 300 kilometers more than the construction done last year. The government has informed that till November this year, construction of nearly 6,764 kilometers have been awarded, which shows a growth of more than 100% when compared to the same period last year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow at 11 a.m. It will be the 72nd episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR News website, newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app.
You are listening to the Evening News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts development of Jammu and Kashmir top priority of NDA government. says District Development Council elections in the Union Territory show strength of India's democracy. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow at 11 a.m. Home Minister Amit Shah says Centre is committed to all-round development and lasting peace in North-Eastern region. India's cumulative COVID-19 recovery is highest in the world, says the government. In Melbourne cricket test, India were 36 for 1 at stumps in the first innings in reply to Australia's 195 all-out on opening day. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The government today said that India's cumulative COVID-19 recoveries are the highest in the world. The Health Ministry has said the number of recovered COVID cases has reached around 97,50,000. The ministry said India's present active caseload of around 2,81,000 consists of 2.77% of India's total positive cases. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has also reached 95.78%. It said the country has reported less than 30,000 daily new cases continuously for the last 13 days. During the past 24 hours, 22,272 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases to over 1 crore 1 lakh. The National Task Force NTF today discussed evidence-based modifications in testing, treatment and surveillance strategies for COVID-19 in view of the new virus strain from the UK. The meeting of the task force was convened by Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR) under the co-chairpersonship of Member Niti Aayog Professor Vinod Paul and Secretary Department of Health Research and Director General ICMR Professor Balram Bhargav. During the meeting, it was emphasized that since the UK variant strain is implicated to cause increased transmissibility of the virus, it is critical to identify individuals infected with the strain and adequately contain them to prevent its transmission in India. The National Task Force concluded that there is no need to change the existing treatment protocol in view of the mutations emerging in the strain. The task force has recommended that in addition to the existing surveillance strategies, it is critical to conduct enhanced genomic surveillance for SARS-CoV-2, especially in the incoming passengers from the UK. National Centre for Disease Control (NCDC) has informed that the government has taken cognizance of the reports of the mutant variant reported from the UK and the response of other countries to these reports. The situation is being monitored proactively. A strategy has been put in place to detect and contain the mutant variant. All passengers who had arrived from the UK between 21st December and 23rd December 2020 have been tested at the airports.
Karnataka Health and Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has said that guidelines for the New Year celebrations will be announced soon after holding discussions with the Home Minister in the state. Addressing media persons in Bengaluru today, Dr. Sudhakar said that the Health Department is faced with the new challenge of containing a new variant of the coronavirus. He informed that 1,638 out of 2,500 returnees from the UK have been tested and 14 among them were found positive. The swab samples were sent to NIMHANS for gene sequencing to find out whether it is the new strain of the COVID virus. The report, he added, will be sent to the ICMR. He assured that all the necessary precautions are taken at airports, including the arrangements to conduct the COVID tests. The News Services Division brings glimpses of the year that was in our special series Year Ender 2020. COVID-19 pandemic has been the biggest story of the year, and India has seen the fight back against COVID-19 pandemic under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A report from our correspondent on the initiatives made by the government to make India a digital country.
Digital India is playing instrumental role in every sphere of life of the people by providing seamless services and governance. It has immensely contributed to the growth of economy, quality of life, employment, and productivity. The digital and tech solutions not only provided human-centric approach toward development, but also made technology a key part of all the government schemes.
Digital India is no longer being seen as any regular government initiative. Digital India has become a way of life, particularly for the poor, marginalized, and for those in government. Using technology on such a large scale has brought about several life changes for our citizens.
The government launched the Digital India mission with a vision to transform the country into a digitally empowered society and knowledge-based economy. The major thrust was given to create digital infrastructure by providing high-speed internet, digital identity, digital payment solutions, and safe cyberspace. Today, people are getting services, facilities, social, health, and financial benefits at their doorstep through this robust digital infrastructure. These digital technologies also played an important role in providing necessary help and assistance to millions of people during the COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India will launch the world's largest COVID-19 vaccination drive with the help of mobile and digital technology. Bhupender Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
Talking to AIR News, CEO of Ayushman Bharat, Dr. Indu Bhushan said that digital technologies are helping in rolling out government's flagship health scheme, Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana.
At many levels, we have to cater to more than 50 crore people. So first, identifying a person, ensuring that the person is eligible, ensuring or confirming the identity of the person, and after that, following the whole treatment, making payment, all that is possible only because of very strong IT platform. We can also ensure that some standard treatment protocols are followed. For different health conditions, what kind of procedure should be followed, what kind of diagnostic should be done, that can be all ensured and monitored because of strong IT platform. We can also use the IT and machine learning and artificial intelligence for avoiding, deterring and mitigating fraud and abuse.
A UK-based think tank, the Centre for Economics and Business Research, today said that the Indian economy will again overtake the UK to become the fifth largest economy in 2025 and race to the third spot by 2030. India had overtaken the UK in 2019 to become the fifth largest economy in the world, but has been relegated to the sixth spot this year. In an annual report published today, the Centre for Economics and Business Research said the UK appears to have overtaken India again during 2020 as a result of the weakness of the rupee. The research organization forecasts that the Indian economy will expand by 9% in 2021 and another 7% in 2022. In Karnataka, the second phase of Gram Panchayat elections will be held tomorrow for 39,378 seats in 2,709 Gram Panchayats across the state in 109 talukas. The election will be held from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. After scrutiny, 3,697 candidates in the fray were found elected unopposed. Finally, 105,431 candidates remain in the fray for election to 39,378 seats. The first phase of election to the 3,019 Gram Panchayats in 117 talukas was held on the 22nd of this month. The results of both the phases will be announced on December the 30th. The Commission has made it clear that no political parties or their leaders will be allowed to campaign for the candidates as these are not party-based elections.
Two-day national executive meeting of Janata Dal United began in Patna today. This is the first meeting of the party after recently concluded Bihar Assembly elections. Party delegates of different states are participating in this meeting, chaired by Party President and Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. In a major step towards employment generation and women empowerment, the Uttar Pradesh government has decided to constitute companies of Prantiya Rakshak Dal, PRD, in urban areas also. Till now, the PRD companies were only getting volunteers from the rural areas, and now the youth of the cities will also get a chance to work in Prantiya Rakshak Dal. Women volunteers will get special preference in Prantiya Rakshak Dal. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Recruitment of youth for Prantiya Rakshak Dal companies have started in 10 big cities of Uttar Pradesh, including state capital Lucknow. In first phase, 1,050 volunteers will be recruited in Lucknow, Agra, Aligarh, Varanasi, Prayagraj, Bareilly, Meerut, Kanpur, Muradabad and Gorakhpur districts. In one company of PRD, there will be 105 recruits, and it's a must to have a section of 11 women recruits in these companies. Currently, there are 45,000 recruits are working under Pranti Rakshak Dal in state. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Madhya Pradesh, the music festival Tansen Samaro commenced from today with restrictions of COVID-19 protocols in Gwalior. The festival will conclude on the 30th of December at Dehat village, the birthplace of the music maestro Tansen. The festival is held every year to pay tributes to one of the greatest musicians of classical music in the Indian history, Tansen. This event is the 96th edition of the Tansen Music Festival. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
Divisional Commissioner of Gwalior and Chairperson of the Organizing Committee, Ashish Saxena, informed that due to the COVID-19 protocols, the event would allow entry only through passes available free of cost. The attendance of each program has been restricted to 350. The World-Class Music Festival is jointly organized by the Ustad Alauddin Khan Sangeet and Kala Academy and Madhya Pradesh Cultural Parishad on behalf of Department of Culture of the State Government. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
In cricket, India were 36 for 1 at stumps in their first innings in reply to host Australia's 195 all-out on the opening day of the second test at Melbourne today. Shubham Gill with 28 runs and Cheteshwar Pujara with 8 were at the crease when stumps were drawn. Mayank Agarwal was the lone Indian wicket to fall for 0. After losing the toss, the Indian team led by stand-in skipper Ajinkya Rahane bowled out the hosts for a paltry 195 runs in the first innings. For India, Jasprit Bumrah claimed 4 wickets while Ravichandra Ashwin bagged 3 wickets. For Australia, Manas Labuschagne was the highest scorer with 48 runs and he became the first test scalp of debutant pacer Mohammad Siraj. Mohammad Siraj picked 2 wickets. India made 4 changes with Shubham Gill and Mohammad Siraj making their test debut. Also, Ravindra Jadeja and Rishabh Pant returned to the playing 11 in place of Vridhman Saha, Prithvi Shaw and Mohammad Shami. India trailed the series 0-1 after going down by 8 wickets in the opening day night test in Adelaide.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital will experience moderate fog in the morning. The city will observe a minimum temperature of 6 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 23 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky. The temperature will hover between 18 and 31 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have a mainly clear sky and the temperature there will vary between 21 and 29 degrees Celsius. In Kolkata, there will be fog in the morning with a clear sky later. The city will observe a minimum temperature of 13 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 24 degrees. Srinagar will have moderate snow. Temperature will hover between -5 degrees Celsius and 7 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, the minimum temperature will be 5 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 17 degrees. Rain or thundershowers would occur towards evening or night. Leh will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be -14 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 0 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have moderate snow, and the temperature will hover between -3 degrees and 6 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have rain or snow. The temperature will move between 1 and 14 degrees Celsius. Dehradun will observe a minimum temperature of 5 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 21 degrees. The city will have a partly cloudy sky with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Chandigarh will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature is likely to hover between 4 and 21 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 14 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 28 degrees. The city will witness fog in the early morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate India's first ever driverless train operations on Delhi Metro's Magenta line on Monday through video conferencing. These innovations will herald a new era of travelling comfort and enhanced mobility. The driverless trains will be fully automated, which will eliminate the possibility of human error. After the start of driverless services on the Magenta line between Janakpuri West to Botanical Garden, the Pink Line of Delhi Metro is expected to have driverless operations by mid-2021. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts development of Jammu and Kashmir top priority of NDA government, says District Development Council elections in Union Territory show strength of India's democracy. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow at 11 a.m. Home Minister Amit Shah says Centre is committed to all-round development and lasting peace in Northeast region. India's cumulative COVID-19 recovery is highest in the world, says government. And in Melbourne cricket test, India were 36 for 1 at stumps in first innings in reply to Australia's 195 all out on opening day. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.